Good evening, viewers. Africa 24 political discussion, of course, starts now. Where are you following this great conversation? You know that every day at East African time, we have this political discussion whereby we tackle some of the political events that happened in our country, and we try to expose those ideas to the Kenyans who are following this great conversation here in Africa 24. Welcome you today. Of course, it's on date 8th March year 2024. In Kenya, this is the day when the former IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati was laid to rest in Trans Nzoia, of course, in Kitale, whereby he was one of the giants, as the leaders today said, that he stood firm during the 2022 general elections, and he announced William Ruto as the winner. Also today we have seen Musalia Mudavadi. We also saw how Governor Natembeya came close to Moses Wetangula, and they had a bit of discussion. This is after Natembeya was been slamming those leaders. Of course, that is Wetangula and Mudavadi for being in the politics of over 30 years, but still the Luya nation is not being recognized, and it's not getting the support from the government. So we got to discuss all those, but now the main question is Raila Odinga handshake. What's going to happen? Is it going to impact our country in a positive, or is it going to affect our country in a negative way? But Babo Wino has not spoken. Also, Edwin Sifuna yesterday, his physical appearance really showed that he was just there by body, but he was not ready to have that MOU being read in that day. It's like he was just there to just give the MOU and just go. Now, what is the future of Babo Wino and the loyal followers of Azimio, the likes of me here, and also others who have been very close to Raila Odinga? Now we are going to discuss all those, and why did William Ruto decided to have this handshake. I have Mzalendo here. Mzalendo, of course, for the last 1 week, he has not appeared in the show. He will tell us where he has been, and we also have Buru here in the show. Karibu sana Mzalendo, utuambie umekuwa wapi tangu Monday tupatane Dimba ulikuwa unaingia, hatujakuona. Je, Ruto Raila handshake itasaidia Kenya ama itakandamiza?
Asante sana Boni na Mburu, na nashukuru sana kuwa hapa Afrika. Mimi kama kawaida nilikuwa na chonga mawe mahali fulani hapa Marekani, so ni kazi tu, but mada ya leo ni nzuri sana. Political lifeline, President William Ruto strategic move. Unaona, wacha ni jibu na Kiswahili ndio watu wengi sana wale wana watch program waweze kuelewa ya kuwa maoni yangu asoa ni ya kuwa hii muungano kati ya Raila Odinga na bwana William Ruto ni muungano ya kibinafsi, ni muungano ambao haisaidii Kenya na chochote, because ukiangalia vizuri sana hatuko katika ile hali ya hatari ya usalama au hali ya maandamano au hali ya instability in general. So Kenya iko very very stable, na Kenya ilichagua serikali ya William Ruto, na kwa wale ambao walichagua serikali ya William Ruto, hakuna mahali William Ruto alikaa nao akawaambia ya kuwa sasa kwa vile mlinichagua kazi imenishinda, wacha nilete bwana Raila Odinga anisaidie kazi. Hakuna mali waliandikiana hiyo MOU na Wakenya wale walimchagua. Ukichaguliwa rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, unafaa uzingatie katiba ya Kenya. Katiba ya Kenya hakuna mahali imeandikwa lazima uwe unaungana na upinzani kuendesha shughuli yako ya serikali. So hii mambo yote Bwana Ruto anafanya kwa njia ya ubinafsi na kwa njia ya kuendeleza ile ambao anaamini italeta umoja na uwiano kati ya vyama zile ziko katika hii nchi ya Kenya. But ukae ukijua kama wewe ni mfuasi wa Raila Odinga ama William Ruto, wakati tulipromulgate katiba ya Kenya na wakati tulikuwa na repealing of section 2A of the Constitution of Kenya wakati wa Moi, kuallow multi-party democracy, hiyo ni hisia ambao Wakenya walikuwa wanaangalia itawasaidia kwa njia ya kuangalia hizi chama ama chama cha tawala kinaongozwa na maana gani, na kuwa na upinzani ni haki kikatiba kupinga serikali. Kupinga serikali is not like a treason the way the Kenyan government has been behaving. Ukiwa unapinga serikali, hakuna, hiyo ni haki yako ya kikatiba. Uko na haki ya kupinga serikali, uko na haki ya kujiunga na kile kikundi ya upinzani ama ile iko kwa siasa ile unataka. Hiyo iko katika katiba ya Kenya. Lakini katiba ya Kenya pia uko na uhuru wa usemi. Uko na uhuru wa usemi, unaweza sema kile ambao unafikiria ni haki, bora unaisema kwa njia ile kulingana na sheria za Kenya. So unaona wakati wa William Ruto, vijana wengi wamepoteza maisha yao. Wengi mpaka leo wazazi wajaona watoto wao wako pande gani. Serikali ingali kimya. Wale waliua watoto pia hawajashikwa ama kuhukumiwa, ama kama walikuwa wanasema ni majambazi walikuwa wanatekeleza hayo, then polisi ilianguka katika ile ulindaji wa salama kwa wananchi wa Kenya. So kuna mambo mingi yamefanyika katika hii serikali, but ukiangalia kwa uwazi ni Bwana Ruto angezingatia wale walimpigia kura, arudi awashawishi ya kuwa serikali imemshinda. Sasa nataka kuingiza mpinzani wangu ama ule tulikuwa ule alikuwa ananipinga anisaidie kuendesha serikali. So hivyo ndio William Ruto amefanya, ameita ule alikuwa anampinga ili amsaidie kuendesha serikali. So hiyo hakuna msingi wa kidemokrasia ama kwa kikatiba yoyote pale imeandikwa ya kuwa ukichaguliwa na popular vote utaita ule mwenzako aje kusaidia. Kwa hivyo hayo naona ni makosa kubwa sana. Angerudi tena kwa uchaguzi kwa wananchi, aseme sasa nataka nimeshindwa, chagueni mtu mwingine, ama resign, awachie Raila Odinga serikali yaendeshe. Ni hayo tu.
Thank you, Mzalendo, of course, for that wonderful submission. We also have Jeff Buru. Buru, what do you think this handshake will bring to Kenyans? Is it going to impact Kenya in the positive way or negative way? And what is the future of ODM, despite many followers saying now it is the end of the opposition in the country?
Asante sana Boni. Pia mimi nitajikakamua kama mzalendo ni jaribu kuongea Kiswahili. Naona mzalendo ananitekelea. Nitang'ang'ana tu kwa sababu tunasema Kiswahili kitukuzwe. Na mzalendo
na pia
kabisa, mzalendo amekuwa akinifunza Kiswahili sanifu kwa hivyo niking'oa atakuwa ananirekebisha. Nataka kusema kwamba hakuna kitu mpya ama hakuna jambo jipya tunategemea kutokana na handshake ambayo imefanywa na Raila Odinga na William Ruto. Haswa kwa upande wa maendeleo, hakuna kitu kabisa tunastahili kugojea. Maana kile kimefanyika ni kuongeza watu wa kuenda kupora serikali. Maana sababu kuu ambayo inafanya wale wenye wako kwa upinzani waseme ni lazima waingie katika serikali ni kwa sababu wakiwa huko nje kuna baridi na wanataka waingie pale kwa serikali wakaweze kupata joto ya pesa. Sasa ndivyo utaanza kuona wakinunua machopa, magari mpya, wakijenga manyumba za gorofa na mambo kama yale. Yule wa kuumia hapa ni sisi wananchi wa kawaida, kwa sababu viongozi wetu ni walafi kama fisi. Kitu cha pili ambacho tunategemea kuona ni kwamba Raila Odinga, wakati muhula wa William Ruto utakuwa unatamatika, atakuwa amechafuliwa jina lake, atakuwa amechafuka kama fuko, kwa sababu ameshikana na mtu ambaye tayari ako na matope. Ni mtu mchafu, atamshikashika na ile mikono yake michafu, mikono ambayo iko na damu ya vijana wetu ambao walijitokeza, wanajiita Gen Zs, kusema ya kwamba tunataka serikali iweze kufanya kazi yake kwa uadilifu, ambao walisema tunataka kuona serikali ikipigana na ufisadi. Lakini badala ya kufanya vile inastahili, kama hao vijana wamekosea mahali, washikwe, wapelekwe mahakamani, polisi wetu walipiga wengi wao marisasi na wakawaangamiza. Sasa kuna ule uchafu kwenye mikono, hata kama William Ruto hakuwa ameamurisha ama hata kama hakuwa amehusika directly ama moja kwa moja, kwa sababu yeye ni rais wa Kenya. Makosa yote itakayofanyika na wale watu wenye wako kwa serikali, iwe ni wanasiasa wamefanya hayo makosa, iwe ni watu wa polisi wamefanya yale makosa, ya hayo makosa moja kwa moja wa kulaumiwa anakuwa ni rais wa Kenya. Na hiyo ndio huwa tunasema kwa kimombo that he is vicariously liable, not directly but vicariously, because he is the president of the Republic of Kenya. The bus stops with him. Sasa kuna hiyo damu ya watu wa Gen Z ilimwagika sana Kenya hii. Watoto hawa walioaga walikuwa na wazazi wao, wakalia sana. Na msijiulize kwa nini rais wetu amepoteza umaarufu wake. Na ukumbuke alikuwa maarufu sana, ni kwa sababu ya damu. Ukienda katika Facebook yangu, wakati Ruto alikuwa anafanya kampeni na wakati alishinda ushindi, kuna jambo moja nimeishi kusema kwa Facebook, ya kwamba serikali ya William Ruto ikitaka kwenda miaka 10 bila kusubuliwa, ikitaka kudumisha ile favor ambayo ilikuwa nayo, maana Ruto alikuwa na favor kubwa sana, nikasema lazima wakomeshe umwagikaji wa damu isiyo na hatia. Maana damu ya mwanadamu si damu ya ng'ombe ama kondoo, itakupiga. Damu ambayo imekuwa ikimwagwa na serikali kutoka wakati wa Kenyatta ndio imekuwa ikipiga hizi serikali. Kenyatta anachukiwa na wengi kwa sababu katika uongozi wake alimwaga damu. Moi alichukiwa na wengi sana na akatoka bila favor kwa sababu serikali yake ilimwaga damu. Kibaki alichukiwa na wengi na akatoka bila favor kwa sababu serikali yake ilimwaga damu. Uhuru alichukiwa na wengi na akakosa favor, akakataliwa mpaka na watu wake na viongozi wa ukoo wake kwa sababu serikali yake ilimwaga damu. Mimi kwa sababu nimesoma kidogo Biblia, nimefanya hata theolojia, nikakuwa nikiadvise serikali ya Ruto kabla hawajaingia na hata baada ya kuingia, kabla hawajamwaga hata tone moja la damu. Ukiangalia kwa Facebook utaona nilisema kama mnataka kudumisha favor, hakikisheni hakuna damu itamwagika ovyo ovyo ama bila sababu. Na wakati damu ilimwagika nikajua favor ya Ruto imeisha. Maana damu ya mwanadamu ikimwagika, na sasa naongea kama mchungaji, damu ya mtu ikimwagika bila hatia huanza kulilia kitu inaitwa vengeance, inataka revenge. Kama vile unakuta ya kwamba katika maandiko wakati Kaini aliua ndugu yake, damu ya ndugu yake ilianza kulilia Mungu ikiwa kwa ground ikiitisha revenge. Sasa hii damu ambayo inamwagika kwa nchi ndio huwa inapiga viongozi wetu, na ndivyo huwa unaona viongozi wengi wa Kenya huwa wanakufa vifo vibaya sana, because they don't value human life. Na damu ya mwanadamu iko na nguvu sana. Hapo nimeondokea. So Raila Odinga atagawa kile ambacho Ruto anapitia, kibali kitamuondokea. Na kama kuna watu watakuwa wamechafuka by 2027 ni Raila Odinga na Ruto. Raila Odinga saa hii ni msafi sana, lakini by the time wanamaliza muhula wao utakuta Wakenya wengi hawataki kuwasikia. Niseme hivi, kwa kimombo tunasema a good dancer, sijui tunamhitaji kwa Kiswahili mzalendo, a dancer. Dancer, mcheza ngoma. Nilikwambia wewe uko sawa. Mcheza ngoma mwema hujua wakati wa kuondoka uwanjani, kwa sababu akikaa sana watu wataanza kufanya nini? Kuboeka na his moves. Watu watazoea venye kama unakatika the same way kila wakati na huondoki uwanjani, watu watachoka na wewe. There are people in ODM who are already very tired with the moves, with the dancing moves of Raila Odinga, and his dancing moves are no longer appealing to them. They are boring. People like staunch supporters like Babu Owino, he is already tired. He is pissed off. When he sees Raila Odinga on the stage dancing, he feels, oh no, not again. What is he doing? So Raila Odinga has lost an opportunity for him to exit the stage of politics. What he is supposed to be doing now is to nurture a new generation to take over from him. Lakini ataacha Nyanza na supporters wake bila kiongozi aliye na umaarufu kama wake, kwa sababu ya kitu tunaita politics of selfishness. He is not selfless. Anaona ugumu wa kumuinua kijana mmoja kama Sifuna, aseme huyu ndiye nitakayempatia baraka zangu, maana nimeshazeeka. Mtu akishafikisha miaka 80, nini ingine unagojea? Achilia uongozi, anza sasa kupatiana mawaidha, patia hawa vijana nguvu, waonyeshe njia, lakini si kung'ang'ana na wao. Kuna kitu inaitwa facial expression and non-verbal cues. Mimi apart from kupenda siasa, mimi ni mwana saikolojia. Nilikuwa naangalia sana hawa watu ambao wakati wa kusaini, nikaangalia kitu inaitwa the non-verbal cues. The non-verbal cues, it is what someone is saying not verbally but through facial expression. Nikaangalia Sifuna. Sifuna alikuwa ni kama paka aliyekamatwa na mtego, akawekwa mahali anasema tu yes sir, kwa sababu yeye hakuwa anataka hivyo. Ukiangalia uso wake ulikuwa unasema a big no. He was not for it. Ukiangalia mtu kama Ledama Orekina, he was not for it. So very soon utaanza kuona watu waking'atuka kutoka ODM na either kuunda chama kingine ama kuenda kufanya coalition na watu wengine, because they are already tired by the moves of Raila Odinga of joining the government all the time, you know, and not fighting for what he believes and what he stands for. So hawa vijana wanasema, ai jameni, kuna ine liberation itatoka hapa. Maana Raila was to liberate, and he told people Kasongo must go. No, not Kasongo, he was saying Ruto must go. He had led that movement. And he was to liberate people from bad governance of Ruto. But today, the person he had told people he was going to liberate them from, they are eating and sleeping on the same bed. It is it's something that watu wanajiuliza, ai kweli huyu ndiye alikuwa anatupeleka Canaan. Na Canaan huwa anafika kila wakati peke yake. Nilisikiliza vijana pale Jakaranda. Walikuwa wamekasirika, wanasema hapana, huyu kiongozi wetu anatubeba ufara. Kila wakati anatuambia kuna mahali tunaenda, anatukopoa, tutapata pesa mfukoni, baadaye anaenda peke yake. Anashibisha tumbo lake na wale viongozi wenye wamemzunguka. Nyinyi wenye mlimpigia kura, nyinyi wenye mlipigwa marungu na marisasi na polisi, mnasahaulika. So msiseme kuna kitu mpya mnagojea kutoka kwa Raila Odinga. Densi ni ile ile ya kawaida yenye mumezoea. Miaka 5 ama miaka 7 ijayo wataendelea kuwa na Ruto, wakule pamoja, lakini nyinyi mtakuwa tu mnatazama nyama ikiliwa. Asante Boni.
Asante sana pia Jeff kwa kutumia Kiswahili sanifu, ingawaje inakupatia chenga kidogo, lakini pia najua utajikakamua sana. Mzalendo, umesikia vile Jeff amesema, pia ameangazia mambo na Raila Odinga kuwa mbinafsi sana. Je, unafikiri pia Raila Odinga amekuwa mbinafsi sana tangu serikali ya Mwai Kibaki, serikali ya Uhuru Kenyatta hadi sasa amejiunga na serikali
Azia kwa Moi?
Alianza na serikali ya Moi. Unajua kwa serikali ya Moi mimi sikuwepo, lakini pia nilikuwa nasoma kwa historia. Historia inasema kwamba Raila alianza kitambo sana kuwa mbinafsi. Wakati wa Kenya wanampingania, wakati wa Kenya wanampa ile supporti, lakini pia inafika wakati anasema wacha niingie kwa serikali ndiposa niweze kupata pesa. Mzalendo, nafikiri pia ni Raila anajipenda sana ama ni mbinu gani anatumia ndiposa aweze kupata nafasi kama zile za kuingia kwa serikali kwa njia ya urahisi?
Asante sana Boni kwa hiyo swali. Ile ningesema na wacha nieleze kwa lugha ya Kimombo ili tusipatie Mburu hatari katika hii mjadala.
Lakini mzalendo, lakini si nimeng'ang'ana kabisa.
Umejaribu, umeongea Kiswahili ambao inaeleweka, na nina hakika watazamaji wamefurahia sana lugha ya Kiswahili. Hata mimi mwenyewe najaribu, si ati niko na uzoefu wa kuzungumza huu lugha, lakini ni kitu ambao lazima tuzingatie na tukienzi kama lugha ya taifa. Raila Odinga alianza hii mambo ya handshake. He began this story of the handshake. I think the most notable ile ya karibu sana ilikuwa ni 2001 between NDP and KANU under President Daniel Arap Moi. Bwana Boni, kijana mdogo hapa, hakuwa amezaliwa ama wazazi wake bado walikuwa wana mpango ya kuwa na kijana.
Alikuwa mtoto, alikuwa baby. Huyu ni baby boy.
Huyu pengine hakuwa.
Sisi tukiongea Boni tukiongea unastahili kuwa unalala chini, tukikuongelesha unalala chini kwa sababu ya heshima. Ukisema yes sir.
Ilikuwa na miaka 2001, ilikuwa na miaka 3.
Sasa unaelewa, sasa huyu ni kijana mdogo kabisa. 2001
sisi bado tulikuwa tunapiga siasa bwana, na hapa tukiongea
2000 tulikuwa tunasikia mambo ya millennium ilikuwa ndio imefika. Millennium tukaambiwa dunia itaisha 2000, but ikapita. So 2001, for instance, Raila merged with NDP and KANU under President Moi. That was the first ever coalition that Raila made. And he went further to join the government in order to stabilize the Moi's regime. Kulikuwa na maandamano na mambo ya masabasaba, vitu kama hizo, marali mingi sana zilikuwa zinafanyika hiyo wakati wa Moi. So Raila anaweza sema the art of the handshake anaijua kabisa, na inakujaga hii handshake za Raila zote inakuja wakati nchi haiko stable, when the government is not very stable, ndio unapata Raila anapata kamwanya pale, anaingia kwenye serikali. So na viongozi wengi kama William Ruto, ama kukiwa rais na unaangalia uchumi wa nchi inazoroteka, then unaangalia ni nani huyu naweza muingiza kwa hii serikali ili watu wake wasiandamane kila siku kwa barabara. Then unapata Raila Odinga ndio mtu ambaye unamweza mweka pale katika serikali ili watu wake wazime hiyo mori ya kukuja kwa barabara kila wakati. Na unaangalia sahii wafuasi wake wengi wanajua wako kwa serikali na wanakula serikali. Ile kitu mbaya ni wengi wao wanaongea ya kuwa sasa ni wakati wetu wa pia wa kukula serikali, lakini ingekuwa ni vyema au wanasiasa ama Raila Odinga anaingia kwa serikali na tunaanza kuangalia ubora wa afya katika mahospitali zetu. Tunaanza kuangalia barabara, tunaanza kuangalia mashule, tunaanza kuangalia mambo kama mshahara za wafanyakazi zimeongezeka. Boni, kama wewe sasa uko kwa serikali, wewe ni mfuasi wa Raila Odinga namba 1, unaweza mwambia sasa ni wakati wa ile 6000 ianze kupeana kwa vijana, kwa sababu wamecollaborate vizuri sana na bwana William Ruto. So lazima waangalie zile vitu ambao walikuwa wamezingatia wakati wa manifesto yao wakikampaign. Nao wako na serikali ya 50-50, ambapo kitu ile tutaangalia in the next few days or few months ni watu wafuasi wa ODM watakuwa katika serikali, watakuwa katika hizi vyama vya bunge, hizi makamati za bunge, watakuwa wameongezewa hapo kwa hizo makamati. But hii yote ni sawa, kama wananchi wanapata huduma, But what we say generally is that this is my thought. When a president is elected by the people of Kenya, then he has got the responsibility to serve each and every Kenyan without any bias, and looking critically at the constitution. Now, my friend Mburu brought what we call the non-verbal communication when you're having a discussion. There are also things that I can add on that called gestures. When you saw that the presentation of Sifuna, in that particular forum. This was a very serious discussion. And I can take you back to what happened to Zelensky with Donald Trump when they started complaining about how Zelensky is dressed and all that. But to them, they didn't understand that he's been doing that throughout his negotiation. Now, Sifuna and many of those people who are on the ODM side, the young people, I would call them young, Sifuna and Olekina, they are young. They appeared there very, very informal, very, very casual. And this was a very serious discussion between the biggest political party joining government. This is something that if we saw governors present there. Sifuna came as the Secretary General. Listen to his speech. He said, the party organs of, this is not my decision. Let me paraphrase it. This is not my decision. This is the decision of the party organ.
Zelenda, I have that video, if you have it.
You have it?
Yes.
Play it, but let me just finish, then you play it. He said that this is the decision of the party organ of ODM. May you stand up? The Secretary General made sure that those people stood up so that they are known that they're the ones who made that decision. So whether you want to praise the decision or to vilify him, then amesha now mkono, ayuko hapo. That is what he said in short. Now, he appeared casual. He appeared like somebody who had just been called, hey, kuja hapo usome hii kitu. Remember, we had the party chairman there. In order of rankings, I think the party chairman of ODM was there, who is Gladys Wanga, would have read that statement. But the reason why Sifuna was made to read that statement was to send a message to anybody who was thinking that Sifuna is coming out of ODM, that he is in ODM. Umeona amesoma hiyo kitu. And you know, UDA was so excited to see Sifuna reading the statement. You could see them laughing, but when all that conversation was going on, there was one person who was so uncomfortable with everything, and that was William Ruto. And then the other thing that the non-verbal communication, or what you didn't see, is that we didn't see any of the Luhya leaders in that function. I never saw Musalia Mudavadi. I never saw Wetangula attending that function. And later on, they appeared in a function they were seen in Chebukati's burial, which I think was today or something. So this tells you a lot. This tells you a lot that has been going. And I can tell you in UDA, things are not right with William Ruto. I could see from his facial expression, the ODM merging with UDA is something that not every member of UDA is for, especially his Kalenjin community. There is just something that is going on behind the scenes that you don't see. But for me, I will just speculate and tell you that this marriage might not last until 2027. Things are going to happen, and Kenyans will be here on a freak to judge what Mzalendo had said. Thank you. We can play the video now.
The meaning of this agreement.
Thank you, Senator Ledama.
Welcome,
Your Excellency, the President, Your Excellency, Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Thank you, Senator Ledama. Your Excellency, the President, Your Excellency, all leaders present here, all protocols observed. My name is Edwin Sifuna. President, I am the Senator of Nairobi, here, all protocols and I am standing here in my capacity. My name is Edwin Sifuna. As the Secretary General, I am the Senator of Nairobi, and I am standing here in my capacity Your Excellency, in the capacity as SG, I have certain constitutional...
Bonnie, what is going on?
Your
A lot of
Excellency,
echo.
in
It's
the
like
capacity as
2
SG,
gadgets.
I have certain constitutional...
You are playing, Bonnie, you are playing the video on 2 gadgets.
To read out this memorandum of understanding.
You are playing it on YouTube and at the same time you are playing it on StreamYard.
This memorandum of understanding, not so that we are all clear on what it is, and what it is not.
I know, Bonnie.
Remove it.
On what it is.
Where is it? Do you have that video on?
Yeah, it was having a lot of echo. It was repeating itself anyway, and I think the statement was already made.
Okay.
Yeah.
The meaning of this agreement.
Thank you, Senator Ledama. Your Excellency, the President. Your Excellency, Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Thank you, Senator Ledama. Your Excellency, the President.
No, it's not working. Those are 2 audios. 2 audios playing.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, we have seen it.
Yeah, Bonnie, can I say something?
Yes, yes.
Now, Bonnie, you have been telling us about the 6,000 that Baba promised Kenyans. Right now, Baba is in the center of the government of William Ruto. So, we are expecting to see Kenyans receiving 6,000.
But there's no way. There is nowhere we had 6,000 being signed in that MOU.
No, it's not. It doesn't have to be in the MOU. They are sharing power. They are sharing. Right now they are governing with President William Ruto. So those promises that he had promised to Kenyans, we are expecting to see them being fulfilled. So Kenyans should start now demanding to start receiving the 6,000, because the manifesto of ODM and the manifesto of UDA has been merged together. So tunataka hiyo 6,000 Boni uanze kupokea ikiwezekana mwezi huu.
Kesho.
Kwa sababu yeye alikuwa amesema inawezekana. Saa hii wako in that broad-based government. We want to see it happen, especially for those people who don't have enough income. So hiyo ni kitu ambacho watu wenye wako katika kuna mtu hapo anasema watu ambao wenye wako katika ODM na wale wako katika UDA tunaweza benefit na hiyo 6,000, na ikiwezekana tuanze kupata hiyo 6,000 mwezi huu. Okay. Kuhusu Sifuna Mzalendo ameongea vizuri sana that Sifuna distanced himself from the document that it was being signed. Now the big question is, where will Sifuna go? Because I don't see Sifuna joining UDA. And I don't see Sifuna going on his own. So I think he doesn't have so many choices. And because of not having choices, that is why he is adamant not to leave ODM. Because where will he go? He doesn't have any good choice. He cannot fight by himself without Baba. He has always been there, very popular because of Baba. And right now, if he decides to go his way, it will be very hard for him.
Mburu, can you tell Alex to join? Join Alex, kuja hapa. This is the famous Alex.
Yeah, usiogelele huko bali, kuja karibu. So Sifuna naona kama Sifuna anatafuta njia ya kutoka, lakini haoni. Kwa sababu kutosupport William Ruto ni kumaanisha lazima utoke. Unajua Baba is a dictator. Ni heri ukweli usemwe. Baba usipoenda vyenye anataka atakung'atua. na Sifuna anajua hivyo. Sasa hana namna, unless sasa amue na liwe liwalo. If he is not going to support Ruto, then ODM will do away with him. And without the support of ODM, I don't think he will even secure his own position. And for a politician, he would like to remain in power.
No. I disagree with you, Mburu. I strongly disagree with you.
Ni sawa. Utadisagree na mimi. Utadisagree na mimi, lakini Sifuna ataanguka tukiona. Haya, goja kidogo. Niko na pointi zingine mbili tu ambazo nitafanya hapa. Musalia Mudavadi alikosekana katika in that occasion of signing the MOU between Raila Odinga and William Ruto. Weta was also not there. Their absence meant something. Their absence meant that they are not comfortable with the arrangement between William Ruto and Raila Odinga. Why? Because they are the casualties. They are the ones who are going to suffer. Raila Odinga has put their positions in jeopardy. This Musalia Mudavadi does not know what will happen to him. That position of Prime Minister is already given to Raila Odinga. Yet this is the position that he was promised. Support me as William Ruto, and I'll make you the Prime Minister of Kenya. Though we know very well we don't have such a position in the Constitution. But through, I don't know whether it is we call it an executive order or through the verbal kind of arrangement, he was made the senior cabinet secretary, the prime cabinet secretary. Let us just call him the Prime Minister. But now that position has been given to another brother Raila Odinga. Musalia Mudavadi is in a very awkward situation. He is not happy with it. You heard that they're also threatening to give the position of a Speaker of the National Assembly to ODM and then retain the Speaker of Senate to UDA. Wetangula is so much afraid of such kind of arrangements. So I don't know what William Ruto will do to satisfy Musalia Mudavadi and to convince him it's okay for him just to remain as a minister, as a cabinet secretary of foreign affairs. I think even that one was given. By the way, Muzalendo, which position is Raila Odinga going to hold? Is it the Prime Minister, or he is also going to become the foreign affairs CS? I don't know. So there's a lot of confusion, and because of this confusion, William Ruto might think that he is gaining, but if he is not very careful, he might end up losing more people. As I conclude, I want to give you a story in the Bible. It was God who had appointed King Saul when the children of Israel had cried to have a king just like other nations. And God appointed King Saul through priest Samuel, and he told Samuel, go and anoint Saul to become the king over Israel. And then after that, Saul started conducting himself in a way that did not please God. He did things that before the eyes of God, they were abominations. And the priest, Prophet Samuel, was crying to God to forgive. And I'm not preaching, but I want to make a point. Very important. Samuel was pleading to God to forgive Saul and not to harm Saul because of the bad things that he was committing against the Israelites and against God. And Samuel was crying so much because he knew that the repercussion of the things that Saul was doing against the nation of Israel. And it reached the point when God appeared to Samuel, and he asked Samuel, "For how long shall you continue to cry over Saul? Are you not aware that I have rejected him? There is nothing you can do to save him." And at that point, God told Samuel, "I have appointed someone in the house of Jesse to become king over Israel." So the people, the children of Israel, were crying because of the bad things that they were going through under the leadership of Saul. And even God got tired. The people of Kenya, the majority of the people of Kenya, have been crying because of the atrocities that are committed by the government of William Ruto. And the president has turned a blind eye. He pretends he doesn't know. When people are being abducted, he said he is not, there was a time he said he was not even aware that it has not been brought to his attention that people are being abducted. When people are being killed, he said he doesn't know even a single person who has died through the bullet of the police. And people, and as servants of God, I know they have been crying to God because they know the repercussion of a president who seems not to care, who behaves like a don't care. And I want to say, after Saul did all the things he did, he lost the favor of God. And when you lost the favor, when you lose the favor of God, people also hate you. And that is why some of us who supported William Ruto so much, and many people who supported William Ruto today, they don't want to hear the name William Ruto. The favor is gone. Is there anything that can be done to revive the favor that he had before? I want to say, like God told Prophet Samuel, "For how long shall you continue to cry for Ruto? Can't you see he has been rejected?" And I know somewhere, I don't know who it is, but I want to believe somewhere there is a king that God has prepared over the nation of Kenya. I conclude my submission, Bonnie.
Buru, you are trying to say that there is no favor in William Ruto government, and yet
It is gone.
He is saying that he is the product of giving, and God has provided him with this leadership. I now think that he doesn't have favor.
Can I tell you, Bonnie?
20 million.
Can I tell you, Bonnie? You know, the people of Kenya are badly mistaken. People of Kenya have a misconception of who God is. Most of them. Some people think that you can bribe God. You cannot bribe God. He says that he looks beyond the physical. He looks at the motive behind the actions that we do. So it doesn't, you can give 1 billion, but what is the motive? Is it a worship to God? I am not the one to judge. That one is between him and God. But for me right now, I'm not talking as a spiritual leader. I'm just observing physically that William Ruto had so much favor, the favor of God, when he was becoming the president. But instead of continuing with the same favor, the favor has declined. Ile kataa yake, kanyota, kanaendelea kuzimia. Na ninaona by the time inafika 2027, katakuwa kamezimia kabisa kabisa. Na wakati mtu anaisha, na especially kama mtu ni Mungu anampiga, ukijishikanisha na yeye, munaisha na yeye. When God decided to crush King Saul, kuna wale wanajeshi wenye walisema sisi tutasimama na yeye mpaka mwisho kwa sababu yeye, he is the king of Israel. Wakati Mungu alileta vita Israeli, all the leaders who were standing with Saul when he was already rejected, they died together with him. Wakati siasa ya Ruto itakuwa inaisha, kuna siasa ya watu wengi sana Kenya itaisha. Yani atavuka na wao. Nisemi watakufa, lakini kisiasa kuna wengi watakufa. Nilisema hivi, Boni, Uhuru Kenyatta ni mtu mzuri, ako na moyo safi, lakini kuna mambo alifanya. Na niliongea kwa Facebook yangu. Sasa hii naongea kama mchungaji. Maana mambo ya uongozi is both physical and spiritual. Kuna mambo mengi yalitendeka, watu wengi walikufa under the leadership of Uhuru Kenyatta, na kwanza mambo ya kubomolea watu manyumba wakati wa mvua na baridi iliudhi Mungu sana. Na nikasema Uhuru Kenyatta Mungu amekasirika, na niliandika kwa Facebook yangu. Nikaambia Uhuru Kenyatta, Mungu amekasirika kwa matendo yako. Maana Mungu anapenda maskini, maana yeye ndiye baba ya wale maskini. Yeye ndiye msaidizi wao. So kama wewe kama kiongozi hauoni kama maisha yao yako na maana, unaweza ukatuma matigatiga ya bomoe manyumba zao. Wale watoto hutaki kujua watakula nini, watarara wapi, na wewe ndiye baba yao. Maana the president is the father of the nation. Imagine baba yako ndiye anakubomolea nyumba, yule ambaye anastahili kujua wewe utaishi wapi, utarara wapi, utafanya kazi wapi. Alafu sasa akiwa amepewa hiyo what we call the referent power, which is given by God, because the Bible says that all power, all positions of power and authority comes from the Lord. So akikupatia hiyo sehemu uitumie vibaya, uongozi, leadership comes from God. Uitumie vibaya, yeye hukasirika. Mtu mmoja akaniuliza pale kwa Facebook, kwani Mungu atafanya nini? Nikamwambia ataondoa favor. Na Uhuru akitoka atatoka kwa hiyo kiti kwa aibu kubwa. Aibu kubwa. Aibu kubwa. Mungu aliaibisha Uhuru kwa sababu hata venye alitaka serikali iende haikuenda. Mambo ya BBI ikaaguka, na alikuwa nadhani itaaguka. Wakaaguka na Raila wake, akakataliwa kwake, akakataliwa na viongozi wake. Hiyo ilikuwa tu mipango ya Mungu. Na hata yule kiongozi tutakayepata 2027 akija akose kushughulikia maskini, ikuwe kazi yake ni kuwabomolea nyumba, ikuwe kazi yake ni kuwaua na kufanya abductions, atakataliwa. Hadi kiongozi mwenye atakuja aseme I am a servant, mimi nimekuja nikiwa kama mtumishi, na sitaangalia masilahi yangu sana, sitaangalia masilahi sana ya viongozi, nitaangalia masilahi ya maskini. Maana maskini ndio wengi Kenya kuliko matajiri. Huyo kiongozi ndiye atapewa favor ya Mungu, na ndiye legacy yake haitawahi sahaulika katika nchi ya Kenya. Mwenye atasema sitaki kusikia polisi amemwaga damu, na akimwaga damu he has to account for it. The president has to distance himself from bloodshed. William Ruto hajai abia polisi msimwage damu, msiue mtu yeyote. Hajawahi sema wale polisi wenye wana open fire washikwe na wahukumiwe. So
but Buru, do you think that the police did the wrong thing when they were stopping the Gen Z from attacking the parliament and also going to State House? You know, that was against the law. So
let me tell you, Bonnie, there are so many instruments of containing demonstrations. Bonnie, unajua hawa watoto waliuawa wako na uhai kama hao wako. Wako na uhai kama ule uhai wa wale watoto wa William Ruto. Yani mtoto wako apigwe risasi kwa sababu tu alienda kufanya demonstrations. Kwani hiyo parliament hata kama imechomwa ichomeke yote, iko na value kubwa kuliko uhai wa hata wa mtu mmoja. Mimi nataka niseme hivi. there are so many ways of containing violence and demonstrations. Saa hii katika nchi ya Kenya huwa tuko na rubber bullets. Huwa kuko mpaka na tasers zenye unapiga zinapiga mtu shock. Kuna tear gas. Rubber bullet zingine, kwa sababu nimeona wakati mimi nimekaa Uganda sana, watu huwa wanaona kiongozi anaitwa Museveni ni mbaya sana. Lakini maafa yenye hufanyika Kenya, hata dikteta Museveni hajawahi fikisha hapo. Museveni watu wengi hupigwa rubber bullet. Maana wakati kunakuwa na demonstrations huko kwa shule, unaona mwanafunzi amepigwa rubber bullet, imemwagusha, unadhani amekufa, lakini hajakufa, atajisikia after some time. Why is it that in Kenya we don't use rubber bullets? We don't use other instruments that I have seen them being used, especially even in US, just to save life. Mimi naudhika sana nikiona ya kwamba vile mambo hufichwa Kenya. Unakuta watu wanatolewa sijui kwa damu, wamekatakatwa, wamewekwa magunia. Those things are disgusting even before the eyes of God. Abomination before the eyes of God. Usiniambia mzalendo ati hao watu wote walikuwa wanatolewa kwa magunia wakienda kuzikwa na hawajulikani ni kina nani, ati serikali haijui kabisa, hata hawana idea. Ni majambazi walikuja wakaua wa Kenya wakaweka kwa magunia. I mean, favor ya Mungu haifanyi kazi hivyo. You must be someone who is forthright, someone who is straightforward, someone who hates evil, and you have to hate it from your heart. Ati hata mtu mwingine akikosea na hata kuwe ni polisi, you will not be ashamed to say that is wrong. That does not mean that president should not be principled. Be principled, but at the same time, remain human. Some actions that the government of Kenya commits, some things that they do, they are inhuman. Hata wanyama wa kichakani hawezi fanya vitendo vingine. So mambo ya kusema sijui kutoa michago kubwa, sijui kufanya nini, haiwezi rudisha favor ya Mungu. Maana hao uhai umeshatolewa. Wale watu 2023 71 young people mzalendo, 71 young people, yani mmoja, not 71 young people died at a police brutality. 61 in 2024. If you add 71 and 61, how many people are those? 100 and what? 32. I mean, that such kind of a government really. Hata kama wewe boni sahi useme wewe ndio umekaa kiti cha enzi. Such kind of a government. Can you favor that kind of government? Na diposa nikasema, mtu wa kujishikanisha na Ruto sahi, unless he has to come out and apologize for what happened. Apologize genuinely from his heart for those people who died. Apologize to their parents. And if possible, make prayers across the nation to asking for forgiveness. He has to carry responsibility. If he will not do that, wakati atakuwa anaaguka hivi, kwa sababu atakuja kuaguka, sijui ni lini, lakini ataaguka vibaya. Wale watu watakuwa wamesimama na yeye, wataaguka na yeye politically. Na star yao, nyota yao politically itazimwa. Sijui sana mambo mengi, but that is how God operates. He says he is God of vengeance. He says he is God of justice. So mimi ninagojea wakati justice itakuja kufanyika kwa wale watoto. Wazazi wao hawana nguvu ya kuwapigania, lakini kuna mzee fulani mwenye nguvu zote, mwenye enzi, ambaye yeye huoperate in a way that you cannot see. One day he is coming. He knows everybody who has killed all these children. He knows them by name. Na wakati yeye anafanya vigilance yake, watu huwa hawajui, huwa anawafinya tu kidogo. Nyinyi mnasikia tu tua tua, kamefinywa, tua, kumbe ni Mungu anawafinya. Sisi wote huwa tuko katika mkono wa Mungu, ni mwenye anataka kufinya, na wengine huwa anawapatia nafasi ya kuishi awaibishe. Na kwa hii serikali wengi wataibika sana, maana waliopanga vyenye hawa watoto watauawa ni watu tu huwa wanakuja kwa runika, wanatuongelesha vizuri sana, wanaona hawa nilifanya hayo matendo, hawakujua. Wale watu wanaiba mabilioni za pesa, wakati hospitali watu wanakufa kwa sababu ya kukosa dawa. Hawa watu wote Mungu anawajua, na mimi naomba wakati waanze kufika, Mungu aanze sasa kufanya kazi yake ya kutuondolea people who don't care about people's lives and people's welfare. Mzalendo leo nimehubiri sana, semeni amen.
Moderator alishatoka, hata is not even there.
Alisikia kama ataokoka.
The guy is just I don't know where he's going to. Anyway, this is I think you have a point, especially mahali people who have been killed. Where will they find the justice? We saw on the pointers that Raila Odinga raised, that the issues that they want implemented. But I say that if these politicians were honest enough, then they did not to come with new documents. They just to go back to the Kriegler report or the National Accord. The 8 pointers in the Kriegler report are very, very clear. This was extensively done. The same reasons why we are fighting politically are the same reason Kriegler raised on the National Accord. Whatever is new, we don't need a NADCO report. We only need the 8 pointers in the Kriegler report implemented to the fullest. But Mburu, we are in a situation where as Azimio supporters, you've seen Alex there saying that, this is what they've been singing, that, we are helping you finish the race, especially those who voted for William Ruto. Now, if they didn't vote for William Ruto, I'm wondering what are the reasons why they are supporting now William Ruto's government. And they didn't believe in anything that William Ruto was presenting there, including the manifesto, including the character of William Ruto. Then why join the team? So this coalition is for selfish reasons. There's nothing that is going to come out of this coalition. I find it as a betrayal of the people who honestly voted for William Ruto. This coalition is the one that sent Gachagua home in preparation for this coalition. So this journey had started a long time ago. It is a political betrayal for the people who supported William Ruto. Now, when you look at the motives and intention, what are the motives? What is the motivating factor for ODM to join the power game? Now, ODM has realized that they don't stand a chance in winning any elections in 2027, but they will stand a chance of being part of the government because, one, they don't have a presidential candidate in 2027. Political parties are formed time and again to grab power. So the only avenue they had for power and the only thing that they know is Raila Odinga. They don't know anything beyond Raila Odinga when it comes to the presidential race. So without Raila Odinga on the ballot, Raila Odinga would rather support William Samoei Ruto other than sit with his committee and come up with a candidate who is going to challenge the system. So in short, what Raila Odinga is saying is that he agrees with all the killings that have happened. He agrees with absolutely everything that has happened in William Ruto's government. And in fact, he gave him one of his best people to help him govern. So he agrees with almost everything. That's why I said initially, 1 year ago, people who are criticizing William Ruto, the president of Kenya, should also make sure that they had Raila Odinga to that line of criticism. But most of them were saying, no, Raila is not in power. Why do we have to criticize Raila Odinga? It is William Ruto who is the president, so let us criticize William Ruto. I told them, no, these people have to be criticized in the same sentence. You cannot criticize William Ruto and not criticize Raila. You cannot say William Ruto is bad and Raila is good. No. These guys are the same. And English is very, very clear. There's a phrase that goes by, show me your friends and I'll tell you your character. If you are a witch, you will always be hanging out with your friends who are witches. If you are a medicine man, you'll be visiting a shrine once in a while. If you are a doctor, most of your friends will be doctors. If you are a drunkard, most of the people you'll be making calls is for the next beer or to sit with are your friends who enjoy the beer with you. So politics is also like that. If you see these politicians and William Ruto being also a member of ODM, you realize that they have got a lot of similarities and a lot in character. And that is why it was so easy for Raila to jump ship and say that, hey, I'll be working with William Samoei Ruto. But look at the betrayal for people like Kalonzo, people who have sacrificed for Raila Odinga time and again, sacrificing their ambition, even if they were going to lose or something. But they came to a negotiation and say that, okay, fine, you support me this time. Next time when I want something like this, also give me a hand. I find that as a betrayal to the Kamba community and a betrayal to most of the people who had thought that Raila Odinga would one day give a hand and support Kalonzo Musyoka. So today, as it stands, Raila will not support Kalonzo Musyoka. He will support one William Ruto for the presidency. So that is where we are. And it is not a good sign.
The makings of this agreement, and President William Ruto and ODM leader Raila Odinga have formalized their broad-based political association into a formal working arrangement by signing a memorandum of understanding. Their union, however, raises questions on motive and the desired outcome, as President William Ruto is a man who once vehemently opposed what he has now openly embraced. The Ruto deal is the fourth such handshake Raila Odinga has been involved in with the government as the opposition. The president once referred to it as a conundrum and a mongrel. Ayub Abdikadir examines the makings of a mongrel democracy.
The party chairs and the secretary generals to join in.
For President William Ruto, this moment looked improbable, if not outrightly unacceptable.
The deputy party leaders.
Dr Ruto, a presidential candidate in 2022, led a crusade against the Uhuru Raila handshake, taking his utter dissatisfaction to Chatham House in the UK, promising a stoppage to what he termed as handshake politics that led to the birth of a mongrel.
The result which you see today in Kenya, there is no government and there is no opposition. Today in Kenya, you have a mongrel of a governance system. You don't know whether it is the government that is in the opposition or the opposition is the one that is in government.
It is a stance he maintained when he ascended to the presidency. And 4 months after taking his oath of office, he linked all governance ills to the Kenyatta-Odinga handshake.
That's why I want a vibrant opposition. How did we get here? We got here because of the handshake nonsense. We got here because you get the opposition, which is supposed to hold the government to account, into some illegal, cohabitation, or whatever it was called, in the name of unity. What unity? Who says by having an opposition, we're not united?
Abroad, President William Ruto's script sounded similar, rolling out an engagement with Odinga and the ODM party, who led countrywide demonstrations over the rising cost of living.
The handshake that brings the opposition and government into some conundrum and a mongrel and an outfit that is undemocratic, unconstitutional, and illegal.
Raila Odinga, a veteran of handshakes, familiar with the formula, is starting after the second multi-party election with President Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, his National Development Party merging with KANU, Odinga a beneficiary, becoming the Secretary General of the new KANU. The 2007 general election and the ugly aftermath which engulfed the country offered Odinga another political lifeline, becoming a Prime Minister in a power-sharing deal with President Mwai Kibaki, midwifed by the late UN Secretary General Kofi Annan, who headed the panel of eminent persons, alongside former Tanzanian President Benjamin Mkapa.
Anyway, I've seen enough of that. What I was saying, that even I don't know what Raila Odinga would gain from joining the government of William Ruto. But what I can say is that even if Raila contests in 2027 and loses because he knows the heart, he will still be in government. He will still be in government. So when you see those consequences, the sequence of going for elections, losing elections, negotiating for a place, it is something that an art that ODM has formed. And I would like maybe their supporters to challenge this, is that they don't go for elections to win. They go for elections to lose the elections or to be number two, and later on claim that elections were rigged, and then they find a way through the back door to join the government. So that is an art that ODM has perfected. It has perfected the art of handshake, and it will join each and every government. But look at let us look at the 2027 general elections. The 2027 general election is a different election. This is an election that we have a new bloc coming in called the Gen Zs. People are ruling them out. Oh, these guys are leaderless at all. That when you see William Ruto worried, it's like he has received intelligent information that they cannot survive if the Gen Zs come to the polls in 2027. That is why you see the group, they are trying very much. And if you are a Gen Z right now, and you are in leadership, then you are a hot cake. The government will put a bounty on you. They will pay a lot of money for you to join the side of the government. People like Askina Kasmuel are already in the side of the government. Now, what does this mean? The Gen Z population in 2027 will be 15 million. 15 million Kenyans. 15 million Kenyans ready to vote in 2027. That is the list. That is the list. I give that five other million Gen Zs. I give them to William Ruto or to Raila Odinga. Those who will believe. But the ones who will be consistent in the movement and can be convinced that the government killed the young people and all that. The government is corrupt, and this is the only way out. There will be 15 million people. So anybody opposing William Ruto coming in 2027 has already over 10 million votes coming from each and every community in Kenya. Mark my words. I told you on this channel that that Raila Odinga will lose. Today, I'm also telling you on this channel, Raila Odinga will also lose and William Ruto will lose in 2027. I use data. I don't just come here to talk nonsense like other channels, you know. They just they don't tell you the facts. There are facts that you need to know. The Kikuyu vote is number one, and they'll be sitting at 8.5 million. I'll give them 6 million Kikuyus voting. Number two, the Luhya vote comes number two. Number three, do you know who is number three? Anybody, we politic here, do you know who is number three in voting?
Is it Kalenjins or Luos? Kalenjins.
It is the Kalenjin community who are number three. Number four are
Luos.
Yeah, number five. Do you know who are number five?
Number four are Luos. Number three are
five. Who are number five?
Number five are Kambas.
Number five are Kambas. Number six.
Somali.
Number six. Number six are. There is a tie between number six and between the Kisis and the Somalis. So Kisis are at 2 million. Somalis will be higher than Kisis in the coming elections because of this registration that Ruto is doing on the border. Remember Dadaab refugee people were.
That is an act. That is a reckless act of desperation. That's how I see it.
Yes, but we let us work with whatever desperation is and whatever numbers that is going to come from Northeastern. So in Northeastern, Ruto is coming with clean 2 million votes that will vote for him. Now, in Nyanza, in Mijikenda, and these other tribes which are coming from the coastal region, they will be divided, but we will give Ruto all that vote. Tutampatia yote, iyo yote. You can even give him all those other tribes who are coming. Let us say that they will vote for the government of the day. Mburu, even if they voted, even if ODM and all its supporters voted for William Samoei Ruto, if all the UDA members who voted last time voted for William Samoei Ruto and all Raila supporters, including my good friend on the comment section, Alex, voted for Raila Odinga, they will only have 15 million votes. 15 million votes. I have counted plus the Kikuyu vote that voted. I have not minus the Kamba votes. I have not deducted the Kikuyu votes that he will not get. I have not deducted the people who are disgruntled with this unity, the apathy that you will find in Nyanza. People will not show up because Raila Odinga is not on the ballot. I have not counted that. I have not counted in Rift Valley the Kipsigis and the rift that is already in Rift Valley in William Ruto's leadership. I have not gone that far. I have only given you the numbers the way they are. There is no way. So what happens in 2027? My guess is that the elections will be stolen, will be rigged in 2027. So then what do we have in 2027? In 2027, we will have a government of William Ruto negotiating or collaborating with the government with the next opposition leader, because one, likely they might control parliament. If the Gen Zs are organized enough, they will control parliament, and they can control the Senate. They can take all the major counties, the major urban centers. They can control all that. They can control the county assemblies in all major town centers. If they are organized enough, they can take everything. If they are organized enough, they can take away everything, and there is nothing that you'll do about it. But you see, our politics is tribal, so you have to inject that tribal aspect of our politics, plus the new wave of politics that is coming. Those who are still stuck in the past, just stick to your way of thinking, the way the patterns are going to go, and we will be on this channel in 2027. Of course, others will be mourning, others will be celebrating. But I can tell you, this election that is coming in 2027 is not about the roads. It's not about the houses that William Ruto is building. William Ruto has done a lot for the people of Kenya as a president, more than any other president. But William Ruto's government is also corrupt. He is not handling corruption properly. What are the issues that people are raising? The issues that are being raised is corruption. The issue that will take this government down is the pay slip, the taxes that the middle class is being taxed. Those are the issues. It will not be about mimi ni mtu wa ODM na nitaenda left, kama ni left. No, this is a more cautious decision when it comes to the elections in 2027. We are moving from the sycophancy. When you see people in Jacaranda saying loudly that, we are not going to support Raila Odinga, then it tells you that that is a shift. That is a shift from the usual support base. Whether they are doing it for money, it is okay, because the political bigwigs are also making noise to be included in government. So even if these guys are making noise to be included in whatever small circles that they are politically, they are doing the right thing. So we have reached a point whereby it will not really matter which political party you are in. It will matter whether you are with the people of Kenya, or whether you want good governance, or whether you want security and stability in your country, or you want the killings to go on in your own country. It will depend on you. So if you're watching at home, that vote really matters, because at the end of the day, you'll be exercising a democratic right that will put the right person in leadership. If we look at what is happening in our counties today, it is a cash cow for the governors. They are milking almost everything. There are no proper service delivery in the counties. Is that the dream of the Ambombai who wrote the chapter of Constitution of Devolution? No, it is not. It has become a place where people are going to eat. And in fact, for a good political slogan to work for you in 2027, you just say, you know what, it is my turn to eat, because if people don't understand policy, people don't understand governance, people don't understand the constitution, people don't understand the rule of law. So you tell them, okay, this is the language that we all understand. These guys have eaten for so long. Let's now change them. Let us overhaul the whole team and bring another team that can eat. So this government is all about eating. So we are comfortable. We will only be in a comfortable position when it is our turn to eat. So 2027, it is our turn to eat. We are telling the political class to move out. It is our turn now to feed on the taxes that we've been paying. Thank you.
Good one, Mzalendo, for that wonderful submission. It's saying that this government, even if you join today, then you will also go and eat over there. Karibu sana Black. You can join the studio through the link that we have shared there. And you can also share your views here in Africa 24. Buru, Mzalendo is saying that whenever you join the government, then it's your turn. Even if you are recruited today to join the government, then you will act the same way we have seen the likes of Junet Mohammed and the likes of Opio and I now being converted to Kenya Kwanza government, and yet they used to oppose the government when they were outside.
Is Buru there?
Yeah, Buru is there. Zarendo, you have raised very important points, and that's what Kenyans need to hear. That it should reach a point of liberation. We need to liberate this country from our corrupt leaders who just think of themselves.
You know, Buru, just before you continue, I forgot to add this,
Yes.
and maybe you'll touch on it. People need to know Gachagua is not contesting to be the president of Kenya. Why is he the center of discussion? He's not even said that I will be the president of the Republic of Kenya. He is only saying that people of Mount Kenya, the same way Nantembea is talking about the Luo unity, the same way Raila Odinga is talking about the Luo community coming together, and all these leaders are talking about their community. The same language, when you cross to Kambani, the Wiper leader is saying, sisi kama Wakamba, sisi kama jamii ya Wakamba, sisi kama jamii ya Wakalenjin, sisi kama jamii ya Waluo. You know, this is what has been going on. Ayamburi, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Mzalendo and Bonnie. I just have some few points here I would like to raise. That why I'm saying we need a moment of liberation is that, number one, we need to liberate ourselves from the corrupt leaders who just care about themselves and about how much money they are going to steal from us. And also we need to liberate ourselves from ourselves because we are so tribal, such that even when we have a good person, if he does not come from the large tribes, he will not get people to vote for him. Bonnie, I heard that the former Chief Justice Maraga has shown his interest to become the president of Kenya. But I was asking myself, how many Kenyans are prepared to abandon one of their own and support someone who has the vision for Kenya? And when I say this, I'm not just talking about Maraga. Because in Kenya, if you don't have money, the people of Kenya will not listen to you, because we vote for the one who has given us money and the one who is driving one of the most modern car and the most powerful car, and the one who has come with chopper. Kuna wakati, one of the leaders in central Kenya said that there is a saying, I think it is the Bible, which says that a leader comes from above. And when he was coming with the chopper, he used to tell people, where have I come from? I have come from above, because he came with a chopper. And those are the kind of leaders that makes us happy. And those are the leaders that we embrace. Bonnie, I would like you to know that in Kenya, we have 47 counties. Kenya is a very small country of around 55 million people, but it has 47 governors, 47 senators, 47 women reps, and hundreds of members of parliament. I think they are above 300 members of parliament and thousands of the MCAs. That is draining the economy. So when I listened to Raila Odinga and William Ruto talk of reviving and implementing the NADCO report, I was perplexed, because the NADCO report, majorly, it is talking about increment of executive position. Those are political positions. Whereas we were saying that punda amechoka. This donkey has been crying because it has been overloaded. It has been overworked. We are not able to sustain the large government of thieves, but they want to increase more and more positions. Because if it is in article report, there was Prime Minister and I think 2 more deputy prime ministers. They were broadening the executive positions. USA has, I think, around 50 states. USA has more than 350 million people. They only have 50 governors, around 50 governors. Whereas a tiny country like Kenya has 47 governors who are paid almost higher or even higher. And when you include the other marupurupu that they get from the government, they get more than a governor in America. So for us, we were saying we need to reduce the governors. We need to reduce the county governments, the counties, to around 8 of them. But for them, they are saying, no, we have to increase more and more. And maybe that's what they call devolution. So this constitution of 2010 was not tailored to fit our economy. It was not tailored to fit our country. It was not tailored to help us develop the jobs or create jobs for the unemployed. It does not fit our country. That is how I see it. So any leader who is telling us that we should be increasing the executive positions is not good for Kenya. And I also want to say this. People might think that I'm saying this because Gachagua is not in government. I remain steadfast in what I stand for. Even before they joined Ruto, I was saying we don't have the right structures of governance. We don't need all these county governments. There are so many for Kenya. Kenya is a very small country with very limited resources. And the more leaders we have, the more thieves we have, because most of them, they are there just to steal from us. I know there might be remnants, but I don't think Ruto is a remnant. I don't think Raila Odinga is a remnant. Neither do I think Gachagua is a remnant. These people, what they know is to eat and keep for their children and the generations of their families, not for Kenya. So, Bonnie, when I talk of we need liberation, it reached the point, it has reached a point whereby Kenyans, we must know that we are on our own. We don't have anybody who is fighting for us. All of them, I have come to know, they are just fighting for themselves and their families. I think it is the high time we start crying to God as Kenyans for liberation, to set that one leader who will be sent from God, direct from God, to come and help the nation of Kenya. Because it seems these ones are already comfortable with how we have been doing things. They are used to corruption. It is normal. We are going there to eat. We want to have someone with a different mindset. It reached the point in the nation of Sudan when people were conducting themselves the way the Kenyans leaders conduct themselves. And the army got tired. And they said, no, we have to do away with this trash of leaders. One day, they just woke up one day, and the army arrested all of them, put them on tracks, and sent them to jail. Up to date, they have never released them. And Sudan has been quiet from that time. And I know they will come up with good structures of leadership. The danger of going that route is even the people who might do that, we don't know their motive. But Kenya, we need change. And we as Kenyans, we need to get tired, and we need to reach a point whereby we have to agree. We have been doing things the wrong way. We have been voting for criminals, thinking that we are voting for leaders to go and help us. Those of us who have been living in Western countries, we know what it means when we talk about government. We know what it means when we talk about good infrastructures, good roads, Bonnie. So sometimes I desire to see what I see outside in Kenya. But even the most basic things, like the garbage disposal in Kenya, it's a challenge. You go to Nairobi, some of the places, Nairobi is very, very, very beautiful, but the trash disposal is not that good. Some places are smelling. Sometimes it's very dirty. The basic things we have not addressed the basic things. So it is a high time we start doing away with the leaders who just think about themselves. Those who say that Raila Odinga is a liberator. This is someone who criticizes everything the government tries to do when he is outside the government. But the moment he joins that government, he will not see any evil. He will not say anything wrong about that government. Neither will he try to address those problems. Corruption, I can tell you, it will not end or even reduce because Raila Odinga and his team has joined the government of William Ruto. In fact, corruption will increase. Who will help us? Someone who has been ranked second, Bonnie, in the whole world as the most corrupt president, second most corrupt president in the whole world, and first in Africa, cannot be good to be the leader of Kenya. And there is nothing we can do to change even that perception out there. Someone who has not stood for good governance cannot change overnight. So there is nothing we can do to change the leadership style of Ruto. So Mzalendo, I was saying it is the high time that we as Kenyans, we put our tribalism aside. We stop seeing ourselves as this is a Kikuyu, this is a Luo, this is a Kaba, this is a Kalenjin, because that is why these people have been able to take us for a ride. I have seen someone here, even when I'm making submission, is saying, Boro, your accent betray you. Uchungu wacha, you voted for Ruto, not Raila. I mean, because we perceive each other based on the tribes where we come from. But until when we come from that corner of tribalism and we start looking at what is wrong with our country, why have we been voting the most corrupt people? Ruto is a billionaire, but he cannot account for how he has worked to be that, not even a billionaire. He might be more than a billionaire, but he cannot account how he became rich the way he is. He's not just rich, he's wealthy. Raila Odinga is a billionaire, extremely rich. And you know very well, some of his money he acquired through making deals with the government. If you want me to stop maandamano, what are you going to give me? I am going to make this government, this country ungovernable. But when he is called aside and they make a deal with the government, he joins the government and everything turns to be good, as white as snow. Those are the kind of people we say, oh, these are liberators, freedom fighters, father of democracy. Nothing. They're just fighting for themselves. So Mzalendo, I think it's the high time we start thinking as Kenyans, how do we end this hypocrisy of our leaders? William Ruto, you have seen on the video you have put there, said that there is no way he can bring in opposition to the government because he wants to have a strong opposition. But what has he done right now? They say one thing, but they do the other. So those are the things that should tell us we are on our own, and it would be a very big mistake if we vote for the same people. That, you know, we should not vote for our oppressors to continue oppressing us. If Raila Odinga is very serious, and he meant what he said when he was doing campaign, Mzalendo, I am proposing we revisit the manifesto of ODM. We bring it on the table. And now we start telling Kenyans to start demanding for the things that he said he would do if he is the president of Kenya. Because right now, they're having that broad-based government. They have been having it for some time now. And one of the things people should start asking is 6,000. He said it's possible. Now, because they are working as brothers with brother William, they should sit down. He should give William the formula and where to get the money and start giving Kenyans 6 million. He should start there. Zarendo.
I think you are so right. You are so right. You're on point that we need ODM manifesto talks about free education, free university education, free primary education, free secondary education. So those are something that those are something that needs to be implemented immediately for us to agree with whatever is happening. Tembei join the studio. Don't be scared. Don't be scared to sit on the comment section. Kuja tu hapa, you tell us what you feel about this kind of situation. Mtembei, please come and tell us kama tutapata hiyo 6,000 ya baba, because you are a supporter of baba. We kuja tuambie kama tutapata hiyo 6,000. Now, let me my issue here. India. I was just reading the population of India. India has got a population of 1.6 billion people. Now,
Yes.
this constitution of Kenya was borrowed heavily from US, India, and South Africa.
And UK also.
And a part of it from the UK. Now, with all that kind of population that India has got only 28 governors. Nominated leaders.
Compare that to Kenya, a small country of 50 million people.
The National Assembly in India, called the local House of the People, has got 543 elected members. Now, in the National Assembly in Kenya, we have got 349 members, 290 elected, 47 women representatives, and 12 nominated members.
You said we have how many MPs? You said we have how many members of parliament in Kenya?
In Kenya, we have got 349. Of the 349, 290 are elected. 47 are women, 12 are nominated by the various political parties. In the Senate, we have got 67, we have got 47 elected, 67 members in the Senate. 47 are elected, 16 women are nominated. And
you said Senate, how many? You said Senate, we have how many members?
In our Senate, we have got 67 members of the Senate. 47 of them are elected. 16 are women who are nominated. Nominated women, so this gender nonsense, gender balance. Then Four members representing the youth. That is where Kina Karen Nyamu and the likes. And then we have got people of disabilities.
Do we have senators? Do we have senators in India?
Yes, an equivalent of senators in India. In India, we have got 250 members. Yeah. 238 elected and 12 are nominated. Are nominated directly by the president. These ones are not nominated by political parties. They are nominated by the president. Now,
yes.
The equivalent of the county assemblies, yeah? In the 28 states, you know, in India, they have got 28 governors. In the 28 states, they have got 4,120 elected members of those assemblies. And in Kenya, we have got 1,450 elected members, of which among these 1,450, 772 of them are nominated. Half of the assemblies in Kenya, those are the people who are nominated. They have got no role or nothing, but they just come to parliament each and every time. They are called nominated MCAs and all that. Now, when you go to the US, the Congress, yeah? In Congress, we have got 535 members. We have got 100 senators. Now, represent 100 senators. The representatives are 435 representatives. 435. The state legislators, those are now an equivalent of people who run the counties of Kenya. They are 7,383. That cuts across the 50 states in America. So when you look at these numbers and the populations of these countries, you realize that these positions were created generally for people to get into power. Yeah, these positions were created basically for people to get control of power. A country like India has got 28 governors only, and it has got 28 states. The entire country has got 28 states, and it has a population of 1.4 billion, 1.46 billion people. Kwa hivyo ukipiga mahesabu yako, Kenya inaweza ingia mara ngapi kwa India?
No, we are a country of jokers because
I am telling you,
we tampered with our constitution, not because of the changes we needed, but to tailor that constitution to fit to the needs of our leaders, not to
exactly
the country. That's the big problem. Yesterday, Mzalendo, I bought a newspaper, this newspaper here. This is a Nation newspaper. And on the headline there, they are saying,
our governors burnt 6.6 billion on joyriders.
On joyrides.
On joyrides, yeah. I didn't see that.
You see, are there no measures, are there no controls on how county funds are utilized? You know, I asked myself so many questions because they have put here Wavinya Deti, Machakos, for joyrides. That is just money for enjoyment. To make it in an easy way.
Yeah, anajibamba, pesa yake ya kujibamba tu.
Pesa ya kujibamba. Pesa ya kujifurahisha.
Kwenda Dubai, kununua zile masaa, zile manini, kununua manyumba pale Dubai, wanarudi,
You know, Mzalendo, I don't know, but we are led by criminals who are supposed to be in jail. Criminals, typical criminals. Here we are saying Wavinya Deti, Wavinya is number one in joyrides, in enjoyment. And they are saying, and this is a national, this is one of the most popular newspapers in Kenya. So it's not a joke. So they are saying here that Machakos spent 372.91 million in joyride. Almost 400 million. 400 million.
400 million. And where's here? And Machakos people are not even annoyed.
They are not. They're okay.
They're okay. Wako sawa.
Sakaja, and I think we need to check this story where it is. Sakaja spent 369.03 million for joyrides. Nyandarua, we have, not Nyandarua, but this guy, Dr. Julius Marombe, Kitui, is number 3, with 315.31 million.
Anaenda wapi? Okay, no, this is for somebody who has traveled the world. Ameenda moon, ameenda zile trip kama za Elon Musk za kwenda moon na kurudi, ama ameenda wapi?
Nyandarua. Moses Kiarie, Badirisha, 223.15 million. Kajiado County, this is Joseph Orerenku, 217.71 million. But the electorates are still happy about their leaders.
And listen to what Kina Raila were talking about. We have to strengthen devolution. And in fact, we have to increase money to this governments, county government, so that they can function.
And this is what the newspaper, just in summary, this is what they said. That European capitals, Dubai and Singapore, are the preferred destinations as county officials spent billions globe trotting at a time the devolved governments have refused to improve pay for health workers, citing scarce resources. The officials incurred the expenditure in 6 months to December 31st to fund junkets like watching the Olympics in Paris and participating in conferences on firefighting and as something there, I don't know which word is there, in the United Kingdom. Now that story is on page 4 and 5. So, going to watch the Olympic, going to be shown how to fight fire, such kind of things, enjoyment, they have spent 6.6 million, not million, but billions, the counties of Kenya.
Well, that tells you, and you find that people are supporting this government, this county government. Look at the kind of wastage. Angalia Wavinya Ndetu, kwake hata kuna maji. Hakuna maji, Wakamba wana maji ya tapi ya kukunywa ati maji mzuri. The schools are, what can you imagine what 200 million or 300 million can do to the schools in Machakos? Yeah, 200 million. Oh, 200 million. You change the spaces of the schools in those particular areas.
What are you talking about?
Hao watu wanafaa kufungwa. I mean, I don't know why Auditor General ametoka na hiyo report.
Yes.
What action?
Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen to them.
Then we have a Senate
and don't think they have already spent this money. This is just stealing. They do it through receipts.
Now
invoices.
Another stealing that is happening in the county. Do you know that all these counties have got a disaster management fund every year, ranging to almost $1 billion. Now each and every year ikiisha, when they are doing their returns, wanasema kulikuwa na disaster, wakatumia hiyo pesa yote, hakuna pesa kwa account.
And Mzalendo, you have heard, this expenditure is for only 6 months. 6 months, 6.6 billion. And still we say we have a government. We don't have.
Boro, let us just wind up on that note, and we will catch up on the issues of good governance and the county government, what is happening in the counties. But what I can say is that the stealing is too much. The government of William Ruto and Raila Odinga should not add any money in the county government until those, if we are coming up with the NADCO implementation, we must reduce the counties to eight counties. Even if they steal now in the 8 counties in Isawa, but having 47 governors who are stealing and giving the people very little, it's not good enough. It's not good at all. We need to reduce the number of counties. If leaders want positions, then they should vie for gubernatorial races. If the counties are reduced to 8, the colonial boundaries, that would be good for the country. And we have only 8 senators. That is it. If you want to create another position for women rep, we have 8 women reps. That will be good, and then we can retain the county assemblies without nominated members. So that can work. That can work for the people of Kenya, and the wage bill will come down, and that money they can use it to pay our debts. Mburu, this is a country that IBC reviews the boundaries each and every time. You know why they review the boundaries? To create another constituency for another member to start eating. So hii nchi watu wanasiasa ni wanafanya biashara na taxes zetu ili wazidi kunona na wazidi kukula. Ndio nilisema mwanzo pale ni 2027 ni wakati wetu pia wa kukula serikali. Thank you.
Unajua Mzalendo, kuna siku moja nilisema hapa, sijui ni method gani tutatumia ama Kenya itatumia. Tushike hawa viongozi wote tuwaweke jela. Wakiwa jela tushike mali yao, mashamba, manyumba, tuuze, pesa irudishiwe serikali. Maana ni pesa yetu. Angalia wale ambao walikuwa katika serikali ya Kenyatta. Wewe ukiwa mwananchi wa kawaida ambaye amezaliwa kwa familia ya kawaida, hawezi ukabishana nao hata kisiasa. Maana wako na pesa kupita kiasi. Kwa hivyo hata mkifanya kampeni hamuko kwa kiwango kimoja. So hatutawahi pata viongozi wazuri kwa sababu wale ambao hurudi ni wale baba zao waliwaibia pesa. Ukifikiria kuhusu utajiri ambao uko katika familia za marais wenye wamekuwa hapo awali, ndio they are the richest. Sasa tutajikoboa namna gani kama familia zingine mashamba yao inaweza kuwa karibu Nyanza province, na kuna mtu anaweza sema ai jamani hapa kuna kasoro? Kama wale wote wamekuwa kwa serikali kazi yao ni wizi, they become billionaires. Hii Kenya tutai lini kuongozwa na mtu ambaye ako na msimamo wa uongozi, msimamo mwema. Mtu kama Maraga amejitolea, amesema if he can be given a chance, he would make sure that Kenya is governed under the rule of law. Lakini tumbo yake iko na njaa, mfuko hauna kitu. Kampeni ya Kenya atawezana nayo wa Kenya?
Wewe hiyo mimi nakwambia tumefika wakati tutachagua kitu yote.
Sasa mahali kumefika, sasa mzalendo, shida yetu ni
atachangiwa na Kenya.
Sasa kutakuwa hivi unless tukue tumeamua kuanzia president mpaka kiti ya chini, hawa mabilionea wote hatuwataki, kwa sababu hamwezi kuchagulia mtu kama Maraga mchague yeye ni rais, lakini hawa wengine wote mmempatia wafanye kazi nao ni wezi.
Lazima wabadilike, kwa sababu Maraga hata akichaguliwa kuwa rais, lazima watu wake wa chama waingie kama viongozi, otherwise hatapata nafasi ya kuongoza. So the whole idea and I thought about this process, Mburu. Selecting the president of Kenya will no longer be something that we are going to wait for them to do rallies, wafanye nini. Kenyans of goodwill, and this is called the civil society, they have enough funds to conduct this. The churches, the church leaders who are progressive and want change in this country. I'm talking about a selection of churches that are progressive and want change in this country. I am talking about the Law Society of Kenya, people who are like the one who is currently heading the Law Society of Kenya comes on board. I am talking about maybe a EFCC head who is ready to change the country. People who have been known. We are talking about people like Okiya Mtata. They come up with a body, and this board will be charged on selecting one candidate among all those equals. If anybody who wants to vie for the presidency of Kenya, akwe Matiang'i, akwe Maraga, akwe Kalonzo, they will treat each other as equals. Then we look for a body like PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, to conduct an interview, publish it in the newspaper, both locally and internationally, that Kenya is looking for a president. If you are out there and you meet this criteria, the interviews will be conducted, and they will be in phases, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, like that, up to phase 3. Then the last 4 will be unveiled to Kenyans for a debate, or the last 8. Now, the last 8 who will be unveiled, and they have to come from different regions. For instance, this one will represent the face of Kenya. And why? One of them will be elected the president. Number 2 will be elected the deputy. Number 3 will be elected the speaker of the House and the speaker of the other one. Number 5, akiwa ni Mtata, will be elected the Attorney General of Kenya. So they are winners in this forum. Now, the Kenyans have participated in the forum. They have come up with a candidate. Now, anybody coming outside this block at PIA anaona atasimama na William Ruto, anaambiwa kura yetu yote tunapigia hawa viongozi. And that way, we can be part of the process, we can own the process, and we can also contribute to the process. That is the only way Kenya can get a good leader. But if we rely on the political class, this is a cabal, this is a mafia group that knows when to regroup, knows when to attack each other, and knows when to eat. They cannot bring any meaningful change for the country. Otherwise, I rest my case. Thank you very much for being part of this show this evening. Mburu, your parting shot?
I don't have much to say. I think today we have had a good time. Thank you so much, our viewers. This is Africa 24. Continue watching us and continue supporting us and subscribing. And we really appreciate. We hope for the best for our country. And I know that God will help us vote for the right people come 2027. Let us love one another. Let us do away with tribalism, because that is what actually has been ailing this nation. We have to work together, and we should know that our enemy number one are those leaders who don't care about our country, because we have what it takes to take this country to another level. Thank you so much, Mzalendo.
Sote